The Daily Jaws 50th Anniversary interview series is a collection of amazing conversations exploring the legacy of Steven Spielberg's screen adaptation of Jaws through the eyes of the fans. We'll be talking to famous fans, shark experts, people whose lives have been changed by the movie, and those that were there that helped to make the film. We'll also be telling you about two amazing organisations that are very close to our hearts. Anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
Some of my earliest memories, I mean, what can you remember from when you were 7? I don't remember that much, but I certainly remember Jaws. It is probably one of the most identifiable soundtracks ever. 2 notes. Yeah. Everyone knows it. Public service announcement. If you have friends who still haven't seen Jaws, speak to them, try and help them.
Hey guys, it's Ross over at the Daily Jaws with another exclusive 50th anniversary interview. Today's guest is an internationally recognised and regarded journalist and broadcaster. She's a patron of various animal welfare organisations, and she's the winner of Celebrity Mastermind. But the most important thing about my guest is that she's a die-hard Jaws fan. Guys, it gives me a huge amount of pleasure to welcome Lucrezia Millarini to the Daily Jaws. Lucrezia, welcome.
Hi, Ross. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm exhausted having to put this together. It feels like it's taken like the same length of time for the movie to get made for us to actually finally get on a Zoom call, like 158 days to finally make this happen.
Has it been that long? Logistically, yeah, it's been a challenge. My schedule and your schedule, and finally, I like what you did there in the lead in there to me when you said I was a diehard. I'm already talking like Emily. Diehard fan of Jaws because and you Mastermind because I wanted to do Jaws as my specialist subject on Mastermind, and it had already been taken by Tim Vine, who's a massive fan. Obviously,
we've interviewed him for the series.
Yeah, I know. So I had to do. Well, I didn't have to do, but I chose Die Hard as well. So I see what you did there. I don't know if that was intentional on your part, but that's how it worked.
Totally intentional. Because my friend said Lucrezia's really sharp. Like she's won Celebrity Mastermind and she did a movie, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be Jaws. And I looked, I was like, Die Hard, but that's like in my top 10 favorite movies anyway. So potentially this could turn into a Jaws Die Hard conversation. Who knows? Let's see where we go. But I've also got a really, really super tenuous link between Die Hard and Jaws, which I'll tell you a little bit later, but it is an absolute stretch. So bear with me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your love for Jaws, because again, thank you for following and supporting the Daily Jaws for such a long time. It's always lovely to see your name pop up under the likes and the comments and whatever else. It's just wonderful. But when was the first time you saw the movie, and what do you remember about that experience?
Well, you know what? I think like a lot of people, when they first saw Jaws, they were probably way too young to be watching Jaws. And I think I remember it really clearly. Because, on some level, obviously it scarred me for life, as it does for everyone. You can never go in the water again, all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. All the bath, any of those things. But I was being looked, I was at my house, my parents' house, but my granny and grandpa were looking after me. And bless them, Jaws was on telly, and they hadn't seen it somehow, and I don't think they knew much about it. So it was just kind of on TV, and that's how I just stumbled across it. And I remember watching it, and kind of at the time thinking, and I think I must have been, let me think now, I think about 7, 8. Yeah. Which I say pretty young for Jaws, because I mean in the US it only got a 12 rating, didn't it, or something like that? Which,
it was technically a PG, but when it got re-released and they classified it was a 12. Yeah.
I mean, even that you think, blimey. So I was pretty young. I remember watching it. I remember certain scenes really, really vividly. I remember. For example, we'll break it down, as we chat a bit further on. But I do remember, I think just the colour of it all, and the fact that it's the ocean, and then that the oil drums, scenes like that they really stick in my mind as being some of my earliest memories. I mean, what can you remember from when you were 7? I don't remember that much, but I certainly remember Jaws.
Yeah, when I was that, because I saw it about maybe the same age, between sort of 5 and 6, I think. And very much like you, I was watching it. I came down one night, I couldn't really sleep. My mum was watching TV, and she's like, well, you can watch this movie I'm going to watch. And I had no idea what it was. And I was equally terrified and transfixed. I was just like, this is the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. Because up until that point, I'd really been watching movies like Star Wars: A New Hope or
Yeah.
Superman or The Wizard of Oz, these big, bright, colorful, fantastical films that were aimed at kids. Whereas this was very much my first grown up movie, and then like you, it was the being out on the ocean and the fascination with this amazing creature. And then as you watch it and you get older, you realize this is not about a shark at all. And this is
No.
about these people going through this amazing challenge and what it brings out in them. And so when you watch it as a kid and then you watch it again as an adult, it's almost like watching two completely different movies. It's incredible.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I was always a really, really good swimmer. So I that was my chosen preferred kind of sport. I wasn't a massive sporty kid, but that was what I did like to do. I did like to go swimming. I was kind of like chucked in the water when I was a baby, that kind of parents like, go and swim, you'll be fine. So I was always very confident in the water. And I was always one of those kids that would go, I'm half Italian, so I'd go and spend all my summers in Italy, I was very lucky to be able to do that. But we go and swim in the lake and go diving off the pier and all the rest of it. And doing that before, so it was pre-Jaws and then there's post-Jaws. So it's like the experience changed quite significantly for me because my whole mindset was just transformed to thinking, even in a lake, thinking, oh God, could it be? What is beneath me? And that just making you think that you never thought this before. So it was had a profound and pretty immediate effect on me.
It's really clever about Jaws as well. The thing that filming it at water level, because even though we're watching Chrissy, the first attack at water level, that's how we see water. So whenever we're in the water, we have that Jaws experience. And like you say, like, what is beneath me? What was that just brushed past me? Or maybe nothing brushed past me and I'm just thinking it.
Yeah, it's probably nothing. I had it in going to swimming pools. I call it, I get the fear. And I think a lot of people get the fear, and it's completely irrational fear. You're not going to get a shark in a pool. Yes, in some horror movies, there have been sharks in pools, of course. But in real life, you're not going to get a shark in a pool. The irrational fear, get the fear. Even now, sometimes, if I let it get into my head, I get the fear in a pool. And I prefer other people to be in there with me. It's that. But you're right, the filming of it, and again, we can talk a lot more about this, but just how Spielberg had to do it. He was kind of, Bruce the Shark, the fact that it didn't really work a lot of the time kind of forced his hand in how he filmed it and how he had to kind of adapt to those circumstances. And I think what you get at the end of it is just a much better movie because of it. You don't see the shark. I think that's some of the more terrifying moments, aren't there, where you don't see it, but it's just the prospect of it, the thought of it, and that's what kind of plays into psychology about it all as well.
Yeah, I think there's two sharks in the movie when you think about it. There's the visual shark and there's the audible shark, because obviously the first thing we experience as an audience member when you turn on Jaws is those two notes in darkness. Before the credits even starting, it's like we're being conditioned to recognize those notes and have a real psychological and emotional response to it. So as soon as you hear that music, oh my God, which is why again it sort of transcends that pop culture classic status.
It is probably one of the most identifiable soundtracks ever. I mean, what else is it? I don't know, Psycho, Superman, just Star Wars, those kind of things. It's John Williams, he's just fantastic. Two notes. Yeah. Everyone knows it. I think even if you're not even sure whether you've sat down there and you've watched the film, everyone knows the bit when you go into some kind of water environment, you're going to go, dun, and that's it. That's all you need to do.
That's it.
It's astonishing. It's genius.
Well, talking of genius, I mean, Jaws is it's 2 hours and 4 minutes of genius in my view. I think it's just cinematic perfection.
I agree.
Do you have a favorite moment in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple actually. I was thinking about it. The thing is with Jaws as well. So I'm one of those people, which I'm sure every Jaws fan is. You're probably the same as well. Every time it pops up on telly, whatever point it's on, unless my husband just tells me no,
not again.
Jesus, when I watched it last week, it's like I have to start watching it. So that's what I mean. I whether it's right from the very beginning, and obviously that first attack is just, I mean, that is horrendous, isn't it? And just the dragging across the water, and that's your first kind of introduction to it. the other scenes, I think what I love the scene when the Kintner kid, and when he gets killed, obviously just the build up to that. So, that kind of beach scene, there's so much going on. It's just, it's so beautifully shot as well. It's just amazing that and just the sound, you can hear all these little conversations going on, and that Chief Brody's just sitting there. He's got one thing on his mind. He doesn't want to be distracted. But you've got everyone coming up to him, talking to him, and these just ridiculous little things he doesn't want to be thinking about right now because there's potentially a shark out in the water, and guess what? There is. So that whole build up, the poor old doggy. Is it Pippin? Pippet?
Pippet.
Pippet goes first, doesn't he? That's one part of the movie I always want to think, did he escape? I really hope he made it, but you don't see him. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, we might come on to that subject a little bit later.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, that whole scene, I think just the build up to it, it's you can just feel the tension with it because you just know what Brody's going through in his mind, and then what ultimately happens, and it's just tremendous. Again, it's just that the trauma for the kid's mum. She's kind of like, oh, you're going to let him. She wants to go out and swim. Lets him go out and swim. It was like the ultimate bad move, and obviously, it's like, how bad does she feel?
Exactly.
Yeah,
because he said,
anyone doesn't come out the water, and it's just horrendous.
This is the thing. It's like, a lot of people talk about the victims in Jaws, and Mrs. Kintner is like the ultimate victim in this because she had her chance to stop him going back in the water. She said, your fingers are beginning to prune, and she gave in. She gave him those 10 more minutes. It's just like, how must she be feeling? It's such a deep movie that we can unpack.
Martha Vineyard's local, wasn't she?
She was. She was the local drama teacher, Lee Fierro.
Yeah, Lee Fierro. Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah. So she was because they had quite a few locals. From what I've read, they got involved in the movie as well. What a part to get!
Oh, she was brilliant. And I tell you what, I'm going to tell you the tenuous Die Hard link now and the Jaws link because it's kind of relating to Lee Fierro. So I feel we should probably talk about this now. So please bear with me with this because I got the Die Hard part from IMDb, which, as we all know, isn't always the most reliable source of information. And you being a journalist, you're probably going to shoot me down now. But
I do all my research on Wiki and IMDb. I'm joking.
Is that fantastic? Thank God for that.
Or X, even better.
Twitter, 100%. So this is the link. So apparently the costume department of Die Hard had 17 different versions of Bruce Willis's vest in various states of degradation.
Yes, I've heard that as well. I have read into that as well, obviously.
You have.
For mind.
That's it. So bear with me with this. It took Lee Fierro 17 takes to slap Roy Shider.
Wow. Because I assume that, you get taught to do that at drama school, acting school, don't you? Because you're not meant to actually slap the person, are you? It looked like she gave him a good old actual wallop.
If you look at the side, because there's a shot of behind Roy Shider, when you look at this side of his face, it looks a little bit red just before she's about to slap him, because that's probably about slap 7 or 8. And his glasses are flying off. And apparently Lee Fierro, she went and spoke to Sherry Rhodes, who was the casting director. Yeah. And she's just like, I'm really sorry. And she was apologizing to Roy. I'm really sorry. And Roy was like, this is going to be absolutely worth it. You just keep going. And she was really hitting him, really hitting. And you could see it right there and then. It's just crazy. Raw
emotion was pretty real. And I'm guessing his reaction as well.
Well, I guess when you're acting, you're kind of playing off as good of an emotion as you can get. And I think it was Carl Gottlieb who said that's one of his favorite moments in terms of what he wrote for the screenplay, because he obviously he played a big part in the creation of the story and the movement away from the book and the characterization, all that kind of stuff, which we will come on to. But there's just something that I need to do. Bear with me just 1 second, Lucrezia. Sorry, I'm just having a slight technical.
Don't worry.
Bear with me 1 sec. There we are. I see the problem. There we go.
Surprise. I love journalists, and I think I looked you up. You're very cool.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you.
I love that you love this movie.
Jeffrey Kramer.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're very sweet.
So listen, this is a nice surprise for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's so funny.
So you were on there. You were there. You were there, a part of this amazing moment in cinematic history. I can't
Without
believe.
a doubt, Stephen was still Stephen then.
Yeah. What was
Dreyfus is the godfather to one of my kids.
What was it like day one? Did you have any kind of concept of what it would all become and how
Not a clue.
you do?
I was an actor in New York. I read about it in a local paper. My mother was born on Martha's Vineyard.
Wow.
Oh boy, it was unbelievable because when we were kids, you couldn't go to the yacht club dances, tennis club dances, no Jews. It was unbelievable. Now it's nothing. But I didn't go the year round. But what a magical little spit of land in the middle of the Atlantic there. It's heaven on Martha's Vineyard. And being able to be in a movie there, the first day of shooting is when we find the hand. I was so nervous I could have really thrown up.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Oh, truly.
Really? Just from literally just the nerves, anticipation.
Oh, so nervous. It's the first time in my life we were young. Yeah. I had my own little mobile dressing room. Oh my God.
I was talking to Ross and I said, I think I was about 6 or 7 the first time I saw it, but it was with my grandparents, and bless them, I don't think they had any idea or any clue. They were just kind of getting on with their own thing. And I was just sat in front of the telly, having the time of my life, the trauma of my life in some respects as well. Which has stayed with me, but in a really good way, for a long time. But listen, I want to ask you more about what it was like on set, because all we hear so many stories of the problems with filming and how the cast. I mean, overrun by, was it 100 days it overrun?
Oh yeah, it was way overrun, and marriages of 20 years break up on these long locations. It just horrendous. Jaws 2. The joke was that if any of us ever went to prison, you got 6 months off of any jail term just for doing Jaws 2 in Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, I like Jaws 2. I'm a fan of that sequel. It's a decent sequel.
Yeah, it really was. And this guy, Jeannot, who recently left us, we had a memorial in my house. I had his family on a Zoom, and all the Jaws 2 kids were there who don't look like kids anymore. I said, the Jaws 2 kids are here. And all these old people are looking up at the screen. It was great. Thank you. I don't want to take up your whole interview. So you are a doll, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. And thank you.
Well, I'm quite overcome. This is amazing to actually meet you. I'm very privileged. And, of anyone, I feel like I'm a part of that movie. I've watched it so many times.
Really?
Honestly, I don't. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's. I was saying to Ross, it's one of my earliest childhood memories. It's kind of been with me the whole time. I cannot not watch it. If it's always on telly, right? It's always, we have so many channels.
Yeah,
always on, right? And whatever point the movie is on, I have to stop and sit there and watch it, and I just absolutely adore it. It makes me think of, I guess, happier times, more simple times when you think about everything now.
Without a doubt. I get it.
It's just, I don't know. And the characters, they feel so familiar. You kind of love them. Even Quint, as crazy and as miserable and awful as he is in some ways, you just think, I just kind of love you all.
And Quint was modeled somewhat on Ben Gardner. This is a guy who I remember, you would see him, he was always barefoot. In the winter also, in the snow, he didn't wear shoes. I knew his kids.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. That it's such an American movie too. It's very American.
I mean, it is, and yet strangely, anywhere, so many people,
I get it,
including us Brits, we totally get it, and I think that's just the power of it as well. I mean,
and when they started, Carl Gottlieb said, if this works, you will think of the shark just like you thought of the shower scene in Psycho.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of very, very similar.
I never thought what is essentially a horror thriller movie would be so comforting.
No one's ever said that to me before.
It's a kind of happy place for me when I see it on telly. It's like I feel like, it's nice.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's almost unquantifiable. I can't describe why, but that's why. I just.
I've seen people. One guy had me sign a DVD that had been worn out. He'd watched it so much.
Mm.
It was unbelievable. Oh, Lucrezia, thank you, my dear.
Well, Jeffrey, thank you.
You're a doll. See, you are a journalist to my heart here. I get it. All right.
That'd be amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, mate. See you later.
All right.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, it's Ross. I hope you're enjoying this week's episode. Bruce and I just wanted to take a moment to tell you about a couple of the organisations that we've been working with, and also some of the new products you can find in our store. Minorities in Shark Sciences, or MISS for short. A non-profit founded in 2020 that champions diversity in shark, ray and marine sciences. MISS creates equitable opportunities for historically underrepresented communities through hands-on programs and believes that diverse scientists bring diverse ideas, driving the innovation essential for ocean conservation. Representation matters, and MISS is making sure the next generation sees a place for themselves in marine biology. Learn more and support their mission at missalesmo.org. The mission of the Tourette Association of America is to provide help and hope to those affected by Tourette syndrome, tic disorders, and associated conditions through awareness, research, and support. It's the only national organisation serving the community and works to raise awareness, advance research, and provide ongoing support to patients and families impacted by Tourette syndrome and tic disorders. To this end, the Tourette Association of America directs a network of 31 chapters, 83 support groups, and recognises 18 centres of excellence across the country. It's a non-profit organisation and is extremely close to the heart of not just Jeffrey Kramer, but also his family. The Daily Jaws store is home to some of the world's most exciting Jaws products, including screen-accurate barrels and tanks, a chalkboard shark shadowcaster, a yellow barrel koozie, an orca transom and 3 yellow barrel keychains, and much more. Visit store.thedailyjaws.com. For non-US orders, please email orders@thedailyjaws.com. Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
Well,
Yeah. No, you're absolutely welcome. We've been this is why we've been trying to coordinate and plan this so Jeffrey could make it. So, and I tell you what, you asked some great questions as well. You should think about being a journalist. You're pretty good.
I was almost a bit too overwhelmed to ask them properly. That's people say to me, "Oh, do you ever get a bit starstruck?" And I think, "Wow, actually, no. Maybe I have just then." Yeah.
Your reaction when you twigged who it was just like,
yeah, no.
Jeffrey. Yeah, you're like, yeah. Oh, it's just honestly, the reactions have been fantastic because we managed to get Jeffrey on a few of these calls, and the reactions have just been, huh? It's just been absolutely amazing.
I know. Oh gosh, hang on, let's work this out. I was, wow. Oh, I love his little amity hat that he wears as well. It's so cute.
He wears
I'd wear my bloody amity hat. I'd wear the whole deputy sheriff's outfit every day.
The cap, the uniform, the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, I wanted to ask him about Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Shider, though. And not Roy Shider, Matt.
Robert
Hooper.
Shaw.
No, sorry, Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw. Yeah, did they really hate each other that much?
No one really ever know for sure because it was really between those two guys. And obviously, Dreyfuss later on in life has come out and been actually very praiseworthy of Robert Shaw, not just as an actor and a writer, but as a guy and all that. And apparently, away from the crew and the set and all that, it was very different. They had a camaraderie there, but as soon as they sort of got closer to the set and they were getting into character, they knew that chemistry had to be there. So I think that potentially it was deliberate on Shaw's part, and I think Dreyfuss kind of actually went along with it to a part because obviously it's going to enhance his performance and everybody wants to look good, particularly when the second half of the movie is just 3 people. It's kind of like Rashomon, you know, you get a different version of the same story from 20 different people. So it's a fascinating thing. I mean, what about you? What do you think might have been happening there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, Richard Dreyfuss was very young, up and coming, wasn't he? And he was getting all the attention. I mean, he hadn't made that many movies, but he was about to be in some really big things, I think. He was kind of like he's a geek, isn't he? Essentially, in the movie. I'm not talking about Dreyfuss himself, but it was you got the Dustin Hoffmans around at the same kind of time. So you're kind of seeing that kind of actor emerge a bit more.
In Jaws, who is your favourite character?
I think it is Brody, actually. Yeah, I think it's Brody. I'm a big fan of Hooper as well. Big fan of Hooper. And I think that the pair of them together, I think they kind of perfectly balance each other out. I mean, and it's interesting as well when you have, because Jaws is like two movies, right? So you've got the first half when it's the first attacks, the killings, it's the build up, it's we're going to get the shark, a big kind of action movie in that sense, but then it turns almost like this buddy movie in the second half, doesn't it? And or not so buddy. I mean, they ended up, when Quint starts going absolutely insane. But it is just, it's something about all those three main characters and their relationships with each other. And there's not one obvious. Like, I feel like if they made it now, heaven forbid, touch wood, they never remake Jaws, there would be, everything.
Yeah.
Touch my little Jaws thing here. It would be like Chris Pratt would be like the hero or something, and it would be all Jurassic Park, New Kingdom, whatever the hell it is-ified, and it would just be like this obvious kind of like action man. And there is none of them are this action man type figure, this or hero, whatever. They've all kind of got their flaws, and they've all got their just their failings, and Quint is the closest, but even he, you can see he's been through this. Obviously, when you learn about his history in the USS Indianapolis, and you kind of start to understand how he's basically just incredibly scarred, literally as well, by that whole experience, and that's kind of made the man he is, which is absolutely starting bonkers, as it turned out. And then you've got Hooper, who's this young up and coming trust fund guy who's aware of his privilege but also embarrassed about it, and that's him and Quint off as well. So you've got that kind of dynamic between them, and then you've got Brody, who's kind of in between. He's kind of this family guy left from New York to be a cop somewhere quieter and have an easier life, and ends up in the ocean trying to hunt down a shark on his own in the end. I just love like I said, I love his relationship with his kids and with Ellen, with the wife, and how he's kind of just battling with all these like the mayor, but it's trying to, it's their livelihood. It's like 4th of July. It's like the biggest, this is the biggest weekend for them, and he's just trying to do the right thing, and he's just kind of being pulled in every kind of direction. And I just think Roy Shider is just perfect. I couldn't imagine anyone else, obviously, in all the roles. No, you couldn't imagine anyone else doing it.
Of course not.
But I think, if I had to choose just the one, it would be him.
Yeah.
Which is of me, but
no. I've gone through a very sort of similar-ish journey with three characters myself. So, because when I first saw it, I think you and I were sort of similar age when we watched it, sort of 5, 6, 7, whatever it was. And I was fascinated by the shark. I was just like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And these things are real. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So I instantly sort of gravitated towards Hooper, because he was working with the sharks, and he was very childlike in a lot of his enthusiasm, but he obviously downplayed it a lot when around Quint. But you could tell whenever he was kind of near the shark, he was just in awe of it, and for all the right reasons. And then as you sort of get older and you go through a bit of life, and you get, as you said, you get your scars, literal ones or whatever that might be, you sort of think, wow, I've got a little bit of Quint in there, and I understand what it is like to have a trauma of some sort, and maybe to carry that with you, and how it can form who you might end up being. But then since I've got godchildren, and I've sort of discovered a very paternal aspect of my own personality, I feel much more duty bound and in line with Brody. But I can see a little bit of each character in me, and I think that's, again, one of the great. I mean, it's like you said, it's perfect casting. No one else could ever play those characters, which I think is a big reason why Jaws will never be remade. It will probably be re-explored in some way, shape, or form, but I don't think it'll ever be remade. But it's just incredible the way that those three characters, because some people have described it as Brody being the parent trying to sort out his kids, or also as almost like a love triangle. And it's just like, but you break it down, and you got three very different people, but you can see a little bit of yourself in all of them. Yeah,
they're all relatable in strange, bizarre, different ways. Bizarre, more Quint, but they are all kind of get it, and you see how they just, I don't know, the interactions between the three of them, and obviously the whole class scene with the showing of the scars and the telling of the stories, and poor Brody, he's like, oh, where's the appendix? Or it's like,
what a brilliant character moment. He's looking at it going, yeah, it's not worth it. You know what? I'm just going to keep this to myself. I'm not going to join this pie. We mentioned, or rather you mentioned quite a lot about the different things and the challenges that Brody was facing, and that there's a huge amount of themes around Jaws. I mean, what do you think Jaws is about, or what do you think it's trying to tell us?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's been lots of thinking about this, hasn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I know Spielberg recently said it's just about a shark. It's a film about a shark. It's just about shark terrifying people, and they want to end the terror. It's a horror movie, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a horror movie, but I would certainly describe it as such. I don't know. I mean, look, you can look into all these kind of what is the deeper meaning behind it? Is it the fact that the mayor wants the beach to stay open and it shouldn't be open? It's about capitalism over kind of human safety. They draw parallels with certain things that have happened here. You look at the pandemic and COVID and all the rest of it, changing rules and views on that, and then yeah, and again, once again, all those lovely Larry Vaughn mayor memes that popped up that we saw instead of Boris Johnson. So you kind of get that, and that's all very relevant now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, or is it just as a kind of a psychological thriller in a way as well, because we don't see so much of the shark. It's just how safe do we ever feel anywhere really? But when we're in the water as well, and it's this sense of dread all of the time. And again, when you bring the music into play as well. But yeah, like I was saying to Jeffrey, I find it bizarrely comforting.
A lot of people have said that it's like a comfort food for them, and it's like the ultimate campfire story that you know, whether you watch it alone or with other people for the first time. Watching Jaws with someone who's watching it for the first time is a brilliant ride, particularly if it's kids. It's brilliant. Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
So are you ready for some fun questions? Not that it's not been fun already. A controversial question potentially, because you are an animal lover. And I myself am a vegan as well. I'm a plant-based animal. So you and I are very much in line with those values. However, from the first movie, Lucrezia Millarini, if you could only save one person out of Chrissy, Pippet, Alex, Quint, Ben Gardner, and the estuary victim, who would it be and why?
I think in terms of the actual person, the character I'm trying to save, or just as to make the movie different.
In terms of you, who would you save and why?
Oh, I mean, look, poor old Pippet. In my mind, because we never see Pippet actually die, we just never see Pippet reappear. In my mind, that is a death of a dog in a movie that I can just about tolerate, because I'm one of those people that if there's, I watch a lot of horror movies, and if there's a dog in the first couple of scenes, I'm straight on the internet saying, does the dog die in this? I'm just one of those, I can't watch it, I get triggered, I can't bear it. So I'm one of those, like in the Babadook, sorry, spoiler people, but the dog does not have a good end, so that's, I can't watch that movie. I can't watch I Am Legend. I can't watch these movies anymore. So I know in Jaws, I don't see anything bad happen to Pippet. Therefore, Pippet's okay in my mind. So I'm not going to save Pippet because he's already safe. He just swam off into the pond. He just swam off into the pond.
All right.
He's got his big stick. He's fine. I think Quint, it's part of Quint's narrative. It's part of his journey, right? That he has to ultimately die. Because, he survived the USS Indianapolis when, all those poor sailors were getting picked off one by one. It's kind of, that whole experience has kind of fueled him throughout his life. And he's, ultimately wants ultimate revenge, doesn't he? And he wants to get this shot more than anything. I think he didn't even realize quite how much until he was out there on the Orca with the three of them. And it was just like, I'm just going to smash out the radio. I want to kill the shark. So I'm kind of like, you know what? You had to go. So he got his in the end. Ben Gardner, I don't know. I don't feel like I know Ben Gardner. I'm sorry, Ben. What you gonna do? It was a great job. So yeah, maybe the Kintner kid. Maybe the kid. Save the kid. Save the kid.
Okay.
If that kid hadn't died, then you wouldn't have got that amazing scene with his mum. So it's hard.
But then Roy Shider wouldn't have had his face slapped 17 times, so maybe Roy would have been thankful.
Well, maybe, but that was a great scene, and a shame
amazing scene.
Well, but she set the stage. She had to go as well. So maybe the kid.
The kid. Yeah. I love that answer. I think that's possibly the longest answer we've ever had to that question.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's brilliant. Okay, so Pippet, let me tell you a little bit about Pippet, because as I said, I'm an animal lover as well, and I was deeply affected when Pippet maybe died.
Maybe not.
Well, here's the thing. So I think maybe you're going to sleep a little bit better after this.
Oh.
So there's a scene in Jaws where Michael Brody has just been pulled from the estuary after the shark encounter in the pond.
Yes.
And Chief Brody is running towards the camera down a bridge, and he vaults over the bridge to get to Michael. If you look in the background of that shot, on the bridge is a black Labrador dog.
He's fine.
He's fine. He made it. He made it.
Yeah, I knew he made it. He outswam that shark.
He did. He did. I'll be honest with you. If I get any moments with Steven Spielberg and I get to ask him about Jaws, that's the one question I'm going to answer, because I think that's the one that everybody just needs to know that the answer to. Pippet made it, right? Pippet made it.
But Steven Spielberg's actual dog was in the movie as well. It was Brody's dog. That was Spielberg's actual dog, wasn't it?
Yeah, Elmer.
Elmer? Oh.
That's correct. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Another beautiful dog. You didn't see him go in the water though, did you?
No.
No, you didn't. There's no way Spielberg's dog was going to get eaten. No chance.
No.
Okay.
Or Brody's, no way.
Next question. Did they need a bigger boat?
Oh. Well, I mean, look, as it transpired, they kind of did until the point where Quint got eaten, and then they didn't anymore, and it kind of worked. So the boat worked. I mean, it did work. I mean, probably, yes, they could have done with a bigger boat with a bigger engine that didn't get flooded, and maybe a less insane captain of that boat. Yes, I think that boat, actually, the minute they get on the Orca, you do think it looks a bit bloody rickety, doesn't it? It doesn't look like the strongest boat in the world. I'd have been out on some kind of... If it was
I would have been out on an aircraft carrier with cannons and machine guns.
What is my space between me and that shark?
With air support.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there have been boats that I've been out on the water, just like in Greece, where you're hopefully not going to come across a great white. But I've been a bit like, oh, no, I don't. I would like a much bigger boat, please. Just in case, on the off chance, there is a big, massive great white out there. So yes, so on reflection, they probably could have done with a bigger boat.
Final controversial / fun question. I love this one. This is probably my favourite question. Bearing in mind everything that happened in Jaws, Lucrezia, please explain to me, how the hell did Mayor Vaughn get re-elected to be the mayor again in Jaws 2? How did that happen?
Cover up. You know what? A cover up. B, massive spin. I mean, listen, it wouldn't be the first time that someone utterly reprehensible had been re-elected and you can't quite figure out why.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know who I'm talking about. I don't know. But I'm just, again, this is where we can draw so many parallels with Jaws and the real world. And even now, 50 years on.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it? It's just still so relevant. The last question that I have for you is, as we said, this whole series is about the 50th anniversary of Jaws. It's been 50 years since this movie came out, and 51 years since the book came out. Why are we still sitting here talking about this movie 50 years later? What's the legacy of Jaws?
Well, I think, we were talking about it with Jeffrey there. I think the fact that we are still talking about it 50 years on is that I genuinely believe, and I think he said it as well, and you probably agree, it is actually the perfect movie. There are very few films, I think, that you can look at and you just think, like I said, it set the benchmark for the summer blockbuster, for example. That's just one thing it did. Which is pretty huge and significant, right? The fact that it's, for anyone who's watched it, it's had a profound effect on, whether it's this kind of trauma, fear of the water type reaction that I think everyone initially gets, and then you realize, okay, but it's more than that. It's the way it's shot, it's the dialogue, it's the fact that it is over 2 hours, but it gives time to the characters, it lets it breathe. There's no stupid silly effects. It doesn't need that. I mean, the silliest effect is the shark itself, which is like, thank God we don't do too much of it. And it would have been a completely different film had the shark worked all the time. It wouldn't have been the success that it is now, because it was the moments where you don't see the shark, which are where your mind comes into play and your imagination comes into play, and that's where you start drawing those, those fears that we all have. Again, as we were saying, the performances are just outstanding. even from the people who aren't the main characters. So the fact that you've got so many locals out there from Martha's Vineyard as well who took part in it as well, and it's just there's something real about it, and you believe the world that Spielberg's kind of created there, and you just believe it's real, and you feel like you're kind of visiting. And that's kind of the thing that I was trying to say to Jeffrey as well. Like when I say I feel like I'm part of the film, I don't think I feel like I didn't work on the film. I wasn't even born, but I feel like I can relate to the place and the people and what's happening. And, we all love the summer when it comes around. You all want to have like kind of kick back and kick loose and have some fun. And there's this like awful thing out there trying to stop you doing it. And, I guess we can all relate to that, just day-to-day living. But yeah, I just think if you watch so many films now and you can see the clear references to Jaws and how it set the precedent in so many ways, and it's so quotable as well. I mean, gosh, it's such a quotable movie. I mean, I'm one of those people who sit there just regurgitating lines from it before they even say it. Again, it's one of those films. Yeah, I just think its legacy is the fact that so many other movies now that are made, you can see how they have taken from it and elements from it. And even just if you look at other shark films that are out there, right? I mean, how many shark movies are there? So many. I mean, a lot of them are absolutely appalling, but I will still watch them. Sharknado, I think, is the only one where I draw the line at that, because I can't give too much time to that movie, and I think that one is one where I'm just not going to bother. But so many, like Open Water and The Shallows, I watched the other day. If there's a new shark movie out, I have to watch it. What's the reviews? It's got 22% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, fine. It's okay. It's a shark movie. How shit can it be? Well, Sharknado. Okay, put that aside. But I will watch it, and I think again that is, we're just obsessed. We're obsessed about, and it's about the shark, isn't it? As well, there isn't a creature on the planet really. It's a shark in Jaws. It's the xenomorphs in Aliens. It's those kind of creatures that are just absolutely, they're so unknown to us, I suppose. Yeah. If that made any sense.
That made a huge amount. That makes a lot of sense.
There's a bit of stream of consciousness there. Yeah.
No, that was brilliant. Now, the thing is that what I love about these conversations is, one, obviously, the people that have been able to meet Jeffrey. It's incredible just to watch that conversation happen, because someone's actually connecting with someone who was actually there when the movie was made. It's brilliant to watch those conversations. Yeah. But when you ask people about what do they think Jaws means, what is the legacy of Jaws, it's what it means to them personally. Yeah. What are they seeing in the movie? What are they taking from it? What does Jaws keep giving to these people 50 years later, 100 years later? It doesn't matter. It's just incredible. And I think, when you watch this interview back, hopefully you'll have a few discoveries about your own love for Jaws, because I've learned a lot about you. And I've got to say, by the way, guys, I wasn't joking at the beginning. It's taken us a little while to get this conversation sorted out. And I've got to say, it has, but I've got to say, Lucrezia, thank you so much for just being so cool and just like, yep, cool, in the DMs, yep, Ross, it's no problem, this, that, whatever it is. She's just been absolutely fantastic to work with on this. So thank you so much for me personally. It's been absolutely a joy to work with you. And this interview and this conversation has been beyond my dreams. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I hope I made any kind of big sense, because I just get, I tend to just, like I said, stream of consciousness a little bit, but
No, this is exactly what we want. We want authenticity, and you've been nothing but that. So thank you. So before we disembark this voyage, have you got any final words for the people watching and listening?
Final words. I cannot believe it's turning 50 this year, because I watched Jaws and it doesn't look like a 50-year-old movie. Right? Do you agree? I can see movies made in the 90s that look unbelievably shit. And or the late 90s, especially when they start using the CGI and all the rest of it, and it just looks appalling and it's aged so badly. But this is an outstanding classic. It looks absolutely beautiful. Like I said, the sound, the music, the editing, cinematography, everything, the performances, just the feel of it. it hasn't really dated or aged. And I can't explain that because they're clearly in the 70s. I mean, look at the mayor's outfit, for God's sake. You know, Jesus Christ. It's got like little anchors all over. It's flare-tastic. Yeah, but it is perfect. And there are some people who still haven't seen it among my peer group as well. And I am always shocked and stunned, and I severely admonish them on a regular basis. But
Good.
I urge anyone. I suppose, you know what, if you are watching this or involved in this in any way, then you've seen Jaws already. But if anyone, if you have friends, this is like a public service announcement. If you have friends who still haven't seen Jaws, speak to them, try and help them, and make sure they do. Maybe this year on the 50th anniversary, take them to see it in the cinema. That's what I have never done. I've never seen it in the cinema. So
what? Are you serious?
I know. Never in the cinema.
Because I think it's coming back, possibly in IMAX, possibly in 3D, which is amazing. I mean, absolutely incredible. I mean, I was very worried about Jaws being converted into 3D. It's brilliant. It's so good. Really? So it is coming back to cinemas. Yeah. So guys, I've been Ross, speaking to Lucrezia Millarini for the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Plenty more interviews to come, but for now, I'll drink to your legs and I'll bid you a fond farewell and adieu.
I drink to your legs. It's just water.
Sea water, Amity water.
Oh, salty.
Done. That's it for today's deep dive into Jaws, the film that turned beaches into no-swim zones and created the summer blockbuster. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to follow, rate and review. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, just when you thought it was safe to stop listening, there's plenty more episodes to come. Please be sure to check out the work of Minorities and Shark Sciences and also the Tourette's Association of America. That's it for now, guys, but I'll catch you next time. I'll drink to your legs.